When they recruited us, it was beautiful pictures, we're gonna make this money, and all we just like, yeah, I want that, right? So we commit to go. He said, you're gonna get there, you're gonna find it's gonna be hot. And you're gonna find that people are gonna slam the door on you. You're gonna find objections all over the place. And he says, I want you to commit to one thing. I want you to finish what you start. 13 weeks. How many of you will promise me you'll finish what you start? Guess how many hands go up? 3,000 hands. And then he says, I want you to tell me, who's gonna finish? Yeah, I'll finish. And this goes on like literally, he banged this in our heads hard. I'm like, that's stupid. Of course we're going to finish. We wouldn't be here if we weren't going to finish, Well, so after the meeting, they assigned us where to go. And they assigned myself and a bunch of strangers. We just did it by numbers, actually, by lottery. And we were assigned to go to Dallas, Texas. The company'd never been sold anything in Dallas, Texas. We get down to Dallas, Texas, and it's the first time in that marketplace. There's 125 of us that went, all committed. You will finish what we start. They send us there. I will tell you what's weird about it. They only had a hotel room booked for us for 2 nights. We drove by our own car, paid our own money. They said, okay, the first 3 days of knocking, your job is to find somewhere to live. Find somewhere to live. So we knocked. Can we live here? No! Well, so at the end of the week, some of us were living in the parks, right? I wasn't there. Some of us were living in sleeping under trees in the parks. Finally, after week 2, we go back. Every week we gathered, like they did have a place we could gather each week for training. So first week we went back. Remember, 125's there. First meeting we went back. How many people do you think was actually still there? How many hadn't just jumped in their cars and bagged this? I'm going home. Right? So next week, and the next week, and the next week, and 13 weeks later, how many was there? 2. I will tell you what, none of us made money. It was a bust of a summer. Those of us there all had to write to our parents and tell them a sad story about why they need to fund us in our money-making job. We were all planning on making 30 grand.
Sorry. I got to interrupt that story. I got to tell them all how much you made. He wrote me a letter, and it was like at the end of 13 weeks, and he says, yeah, I make $4.82 this year.
I killed it. It was awesome. And that was so long ago, I think I spent that on quarters calling her. So here's what happened. It was tough. But at the end of the time, there was 4 people that committed to stay there. None of them had actually made money. They stayed there for one reason. What do you think that was? They committed to finish. And their commitment to themselves meant everything. Because who would have known? Nobody else would have known if I didn't finish. I had all the reasons not to finish, but they finished. We'll fast forward that little cheesy experience in our lives. It was awesome. And then Facebook shows up, right? I had a list. This has been probably 4 years ago, the people that went with us to Texas. And I had a list of the finishers, and I could find the non-finishers. And do you want to know something? It's prophetic. Zig Ziglar was so prophetic because the non-finishers had a life history of quitting what they started, quitting what they started, quitting what they started, quitting what they started. The finishers, every finisher that was out there was wildly successful. And I will tell you, it wasn't the smartest people, it wasn't the ones that had the best degrees, it wasn't the ones that had any special character attributes, but one. They keep commitments themselves, they finish. And I bring this up because I think it's so important, guys. We have embarked together. We haven't recruited you. You're here, like I said earlier, on a mission. You've seen and recognized something, you've felt something, and sometimes it's felt what you've actually participated in has felt oppositional to the feeling you felt. I felt so good. Why is this bombing so bad, And so it starts making you doubt, doubt the way you felt at the moment. And I'll tell you, this group is the leader of leaders. This is the group which the 10,000 is coming from, and the 20,000 is coming from, and 30,000 is coming from. And the thing I want more than anything in our journey is, I will tell you one thing, that Jen Aspie, she's never doubted. It did not matter which bomb was going off, which fire was going off, never a moment of doubt. And I say that's true all along the leadership chain. And I know you are here. We joke about Red October. But I want you to know something. You know what? Red October was each of you and each of us preparing to grow. We needed that growth. We needed to go experience some of those things. And guess what? We're not done growing. So we're going to have this great launch. You're going to say, boom, we're finally launching. And then the next month, something's gonna bust. You know, somewhere it's gonna bust. And guess how many times that's gonna happen? Countless times. And is it gonna matter if it busts? No, because we've already decided we're gonna finish where we start, because we don't quit on our mission. We don't quit on those women that right now need us. They need strength in their lives, and they don't know it, but you're the strength they need in their lives. And you're the